Hey, what's up, Internet? This is John from Yen, and I got a really great question that I was asked the other day, and I just wanted to expand on it. Question was, hey, if I wasn't working in blockchain or cryptocurrency or decentralized protocols, what would you, what would you be, what would you be doing, right? What, what industry or vertical or niche or market would you be focusing your time on? And I think that's a really, really neat question to think because it's one I think about a lot, actually. And it's not because I don't love what I do. I really love what I do right now. And I've said it many times, like this is the decentralized protocols and systems and this technology is some of the most exciting stuff I've ever encountered professionally. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. But as an entrepreneur, as someone who really gets to make very clear decisions around my career and and how I spend my time and where I spend my time, and I'm again very grateful that I could do that. It means that I have a lot of freedom to experiment, a lot of freedom to think very freely about my career, which again is awesome. And I would really highly recommend that you get to a place where you feel like you have the freedom to explore your world. Like it's there's so many cool things to be working on. Why would you spend any of your time on anything that you don't like, or that doesn't make you like infinitely curious? Or maybe not infinitely curious. Just like why wouldn't you spend your time on stuff that you really like? Wow, that's I want to learn more about that. Anyway, that's a side note. But to answer the question, there are three industries or verticals, markets, niches, whatever, that I would 100% look into, and probably build software for, and maybe even build a company around if I wasn't working in this particular industry. And the first one is video. In fact, when I was an ERR, I was an entrepreneur in residence at a venture firm, I spent a big portion of that time, which was a kind of a 6 month block, deeply investigating video technology. And part of that actually was vlogging, was learning how to use video, right? And so much of my behavior, my day-to-day behavior, is spent in YouTube, on video platforms, consuming content, learning, creating content just like this. And it's clear the market is growing, the adoption is growing. Like if you think video is even close to being massively consumed, you're not you have no idea. It's really just begun to pick up pace. That would be clearly industry, and I don't even know what I would build. I don't know what I would do, but I would jump in head first, and I don't know. I think I would build some software around video. Again, I don't know what that would be, but that would be amazing. I mean, there's so many different things related to video, but that would be the first thing. The second thing is imaging, is actual photography. So obviously somewhat close, kind of a close cousin, obviously, to video, but image media, right? Pictures. And I've actually spent a lot of time in that historically. I built some software around image sharing, and kind of some social networking around that. Did a Kickstarter. Maybe some of you remember that, maybe most of you don't, but I think there's still a ton of really fascinating things around imaging, and especially regarding machine learning and artificial intelligence and things like deep fakes, which actually is related to video, but then also I think you see that on imaging as well. And kind of fidelity, quality, like those things are still very fascinating to me. And I'm always interested in trying new pieces of software, imaging software on my mobile device, on my notebook computer. And so I think that's actually a really good kind of rubric or calibrator for maybe even how you choose your own profession, or how you choose your side projects, or maybe in your full-time work is, hey, where am I spending a lot of my time, right, technologically? And for sure, if you actually look through it, my history of downloads in the iTunes App Store, I download a ton of image processing, image applications, image related technology because it's just so. I think it's just so fascinating. There's still so much to do in that world. And thirdly, assuming that I couldn't land on anything on video and imaging, I think machine learning and AI is interesting. Probably much less of the AI. I think there's a lot of hype around it. Very few things have artificial intelligence. In fact, almost nothing. So most 99% hype. But there are a few organizations that are like legitimately working in these areas. But machine learning in particular is not exactly artificial intelligence. I don't want to get too technical with it, but helping technology learn to be better itself, and for us as humans to be able to leverage that raw computing power, to manipulate data, to understand data, to be able to transfer and help people use data better. That's all really within the bucket, I think, of machine learning, kind of at a very high level. And I think that would be a fascinating industry to spend a lot of time in. So, great question. Thank you for asking. So, to kind of summarize, if I wasn't working in this space, decentralized, kind of decentralized protocols and blockchain, I would be looking at video, imaging, machine learning, artificial intelligence. I think those would be super cool things to tackle. And who knows? Like, I think I'm still young, so maybe 10 years from now, maybe longer, after this project is over, or whatever. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'll spend a little more time in those areas, which would be super cool. But great question. Thanks for asking. And yeah, hopefully that's helpful for you to be chewing on. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Have a great Thanksgiving, because it's not quite over yet for me. Later.